What is up, posse? My name is Will, and welcome to another review here on Alpha Omega Wolf Productions. So, as you can tell, I'm doing this by myself. Jessup, unfortunately, was not able to make it. And also, you can tell, we're in black and white. Why? Because we're time traveling back to the 1940s. We are going to be talking about It's a Wonderful Life, directed by Frank Capra, and this tells the story of George Bailey, who's a man who feels like he hasn't fulfilled a whole lot in his life until he slowly learns a very valuable lesson about how much he meant to everybody he came across in his life. Now, this is seen by many as a Christmas classic, and this is seen as not only one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, it's considered possibly the greatest Christmas movie of all time. And it didn't do very well financially, but it's gaining more and more of a following. And I have to say, I might have an unpopular opinion about this, and some people might be angry about it. And for those who think that before you go and type angry comments saying cancel the channel, I just want to say, I'm just kidding. I love this movie. Oh, what can you say about It's a Wonderful Life that hasn't even been said already? Other than that, it's timeless. Jimmy Stewart gives his best performance, arguably his most iconic performance ever. Um, I feel like for a movie that's 2 hours and 10 minutes, it doesn't feel like that. It almost feels like it's an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40 minutes. And that's because a lot of the scenes here were pretty short. But other than that, it was phenomenally well paced. Because throughout most of the movie, we go through George's life, figure out important elements that happened that lead up to the big change, which I won't give away if any of you haven't seen it yet. But, hopefully a majority of people who are watching this review have seen it already. And yeah, I really like this movie. I had to say, it's not just, my favorite Christmas movie ever. It's one of my favorite movies, period. Because I feel like nowadays, people can relate to this movie a lot more than some people think. Because some people believe that if they don't have, the nice house or the high paying jobs or they're not able to travel, then their life isn't fulfilled. When really, I think this movie shares quite possibly the greatest message any Christmas movie can give, and that's to cherish what you have right in front of you. And that you mean a lot more to people than you think. Because George, he wanted to travel. He wanted to do so many things, but he wasn't able to do it. He was stuck in his hometown of Bedford Falls. And thankfully, he was able to be shown the right way about how the world has been affected by him and everybody around him. Like his friends, his family, his wife and kids. It's just an emotional movie. It's a very sweet. It's a lot more heavy, in my opinion, than some people may think. Because looking back on it, there are some elements here that I feel like were not really well made for, a younger audience. In fact, for a younger audience, it might just go right over their head. But yeah, this was just an overall fantastic movie. I cannot recommend this enough. I actually watched this on a Prime Video, and it was in color. Didn't really take away the moment, because a little something like that can possibly ruin the experience, especially for a movie like It's a Wonderful Life. And like I said, this movie can pretty much save anybody here who's ever going through a rough time. Just know that, you have a good life in front of you, and there are a lot of people out there who love and care very deeply about you. And yeah, I just love this movie. The editing is great. I love the practical effects that they use. I love the acting, the pacing, the writing. I could argue that this movie is a masterpiece, which I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me on this one. But in the end, there's really not much to say. it's just a marvelous movie. I could watch this movie over and over again and still never get bored by it. And I'm sorry, I'm just because the movie did make me a tiny bit emotional, kind of like Luca did, except this was more on, a larger scale. Because while Luca talks about, the basic friendship between the three kids, this talks about, life growing up and how anything can change. And yeah. So, this movie, I think, will live on forever as a timeless classic, arguably a perfect movie, I could say. So, that just about does it for this review. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more content. Next week, we're going to be taking some time off because Jessup and I both have plans, and we were going to spend the time with our loved ones during the holidays. And for those watching, I hope if you celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year, and we will see you all then. See you later, posse.